What is up, everyone? Frank here with Little Al, and did you miss me? It's been a while since I did a little update. Every time I say I'm going to do it weekly, I just don't end up doing it weekly, which sucks. Hopefully, trying to correct it. I know I did a couple things on Instagram. I do car talks on Instagram where or car ramble, where I ramble in a car. We're gonna transport that to YouTube eventually, and all that good stuff. I do have more content on the way, but today is just gonna be a general what have we been up to, and just a look back on textbook season. This was I don't even remember what number we're on with textbook season. It's either like either two or three, probably the third, probably the third. So this one compared to 2018, 2019's textbook season was or no, we're in 2020. Hindsight's 2020, guys. Compared 2019 to 2020, the January textbook season a lot smoother this time. I know last year we didn't have certain things that we did this year. The software updates, the auto ship, which everyone kind of likes, and just the organizational structure. So we are definitely a lot more fluid this year. If you guys have noticed, if clients have noticed, and to those of you who are not clients, you have not noticed because you're not there. So it's been great. Right now we're in March. Last year this time we were behind and still trying to get caught up. Now we're pretty much caught up, and we're doing the spring cleaning in the holding rooms. So basically, what we do there is those people who haven't sent in items in a while, we just do shipments for them. Just if they have one or two items, ship them out. Let's bill them, and let's clear up that space. I don't really like to dispose of normal FBA item things that could be sent to Amazon. Problem books, I got no problem disposing problem books just because of the nature, and some people just don't want to deal with them, so I just throw them in the trash. So that pretty much sums up textbook season. We haven't had any trouble this year. Lost books were pretty much at a minimum this year. This year's textbook season. I think we, in the heat of textbook season, Little Al has lost maybe two or three, and that's not post service stuff. We can't control that stuff, but just us as a company, and of course we did it right, and we repaid those people for the stuff we lost. Always gonna do it. Yeah, no, I'm always going to repay anything that we fail to do. So that's good. That's really about it. Now we're actually getting more wholesale clients, and we're getting more than just books trickling in as we begin to expand into other items. I can't really discuss any wholesale or private label stuff just because the nature of it. People much rather keep that. Let me just, so I don't end up bending down. People much rather keep all that stuff secret than share it with the world. So I don't really want to do that. But we are getting more in. I wish I could show it like books, because if you see used books, I mean it's pretty simple. This is a little bit more difficult because of the privacy concern, and I don't want if someone doesn't want their items to be known, I ain't gonna share that publicly. We did actually do the big Gaylord experiment last month. The Gaylord experiment was we actually took on about 5 Gaylords from a client, and we actually did the labor on sorting out the good books from the bad books, the profitable versus the non-profitable. And so far, that was a success. It took us about 2 weeks to do it. That time, we changed some stuff after that to make it go a lot faster. It was mainly just staffing issues. But now I have some dedicated people in line on call to do that kind of thing. So if that ever arises again, we can take it. So it's overall it was a success. We made about 42% profit margin on it, which isn't terrible. We did $15 an hour for the labor to check the profitable items, and then we did a discounted pack and prep rate with those items. So overall, on our side, it was pretty profitable, and from what the client pulled, I can most certainly say that he still got out like a bat. He was pretty much a bank robber at that point. I can understand why people do Gaylords now. And honestly, at first I thought, it's just a one big gamble, and I think it still is. But I understand the appeal because he got some really good Gaylords. Of course, I can't share I can't share where he got them from, but I can just say it was quite a successful one. So if you guys are interested in Gaylords, I think the best resource I could point you to is the bulk book selling experiment on Facebook. It's a group. I'd recommend going there first and reading that group. It's a good group, and a lot of people who do that kind of stuff, who do that bulk Gaylord buying, are usually around there. So if you guys were ever interested in that, that's the avenue where I would start. As for updates of this year, we have a big project coming up. Hopefully, sometime in June or July, I can actually launch it to the clients and outside of the clients. I can't really give any more information about that. All I can say is it is going to streamline just about everything else in the prep center process, and it's going to be like a one-stop shop for clients. It's just a one and done thing. I just that the ease of use needs to be there, and it's not really ready yet because I still want to add a couple more things, and it actually needs to work. Parts of it do, parts of it don't, and I'm trying to iron that out. There's probably going to be a beta tester group that will determine whether or not we actually release it in June or July or push it back, because it'll be for Little Owl clients first, and then it'll be out open to the public. So it'll be a pretty good. I hope it'll be pretty good. I wish I could share more. Eventually, I'll do a live demo of it, since if you guys are interested. But this is really just an update to see what's going on in the business and all of that. If you guys have never seen a Little Owl update, or a little update as I like to call them. Talking me personally, I'm setting up a new Instagram account mainly for myself, more as a public figure to talk about other things besides Little Owl. And I'm personally going to try and brand myself a little bit more, maybe into budgeting or things that Little Owl can't really talk about since it's not their business. So that's the avenue I'm personally taking. And there is another side project attached to that is, for the most part, going to be geared to newer sellers, newer Amazon sellers, newer overall e-commerce sellers. I hope to have that off the ground here relatively soon, but I don't know just yet. I'm still developing. I'm still personally developing that project. Now that it's in March, I have a lot more time, so that's probably what I'm going to be hitting on. Actually, Saturday is tomorrow. Today's Friday. It's 7 p.m. on Friday. That's not bad. Saturday's my day off, and I'm going to go do some community service, and then I'm going to work. Day off of work. I'm going to work on that special project. But yeah, I think it's going to be good to branch off. Maybe do another YouTube channel. I'm not actually sure. I know for certain I want a new Instagram account outside of Little Owl to hold those type of areas, and I've been talks with doing a podcast type deal. I definitely would like to ramp up the social media on all platforms going into the future, and I think as I continue to add employees to the business, that will be more of a reality to me. Currently, I don't really touch too much receiving. I still do the occasional shipments, as you can see behind me, and yeah, I still do the occasional shipment. I do all of the wholesale and private label clients currently. So yeah, it's still a lot of work. It still keeps me going about 12, 18-hour days. Um, Actually, in this circumstance, I was able to take Saturday off mainly because it's March. It's this these 2 weeks coming up are probably the deadest weeks until August, until that August September. Financially, we hit all of our marks. My goal for this one, I I can actually finally say Little Al is a six-figure business. It doesn't really mean much at all. It actually makes me chuckle every time I say that because you have all these six, seven-figure Amazon sellers, ooh, and I can actually finally call Little Al a six-figure business. Which puts that, whoever really says that, they're not really making the net off of it. I don't believe because even though we made six figures in sales, net was about 60 to 70K after everything, which wasn't actually which not that bad at all. Not that bad at all. Going into our third year, my goal is at least 250K in sales for Little Al. And I think with these other additions, hopefully kicking off with this software stuff and all the efficiency things we're going to create at Little Al, I think that'll be a reality. We over the last year's goal was about 100K, and we we exceeded that by about 30-40K, which I'm not complaining about. I was able to give the employees a pay raise. That's another big thing I'm really into is making sure the employees at Little Al have a livable wage. Um, Last year we started everybody off at minimum, which was like 7.85 or something like that. 7.85 or $8, whichever one was the state minimum for Ohio at the time. I don't remember, but now any entry level person at Little Al is making about 12 an hour. Still, it's all right for a small business, and I actually don't mind sharing that information with you just because I think transparency needs to be a thing when it comes to wages, and especially when small business is concerned, especially in the e-commerce, Amazon, eBay stuff, where all these gurus want to talk crap and all that. So I prefer the transparency. Uh, Hopefully, we can get that up higher. Of course, the accounting and the business needs are always going to come first, in my opinion. So basically, I sound like a normal business. Profit first, guys. Uh, but I do really care about that, and I made it a point to always increase wages when I can. As you can see from let's see, 2019 to January 2020, it went from that $7-8 minimum wage to 12, which is more basically I'm used to seeing friends make like 10 cent to 50 cent raises a year. So I think we're doing good. We're on that trajectory. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a jump until next year because we're adding more employees on as we go, but we'll see. The next big thing would be a jump. This place has been great so far for about 2 years, going on our third year. But I think in the fourth year we're actually going to have to move out of this space and actually find a bigger warehouse or a bigger office space to do stuff. Hopefully, something with a dock, so my wholesale and private label clients can save some money that way. We haven't found anything. We don't really have any plans to move yet, but I am actively looking for a good space. If I find one, of course I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to make sure to notify everybody because that's going to be a terrible move. Moving's always terrible, but I'm going to try to do the right thing, and we're kind of needing the space. We're kind of needing the space because there's going to be a limit to how many bulk items we have and how many wholesale and private label if we stay here, and I don't want to limit us to that. Not to mention, it's now getting a little bit tight to find bodies, find office desks for bodies and all that. because I don't want to put anyone out in the warehouse side because that's not heated or air conditioned or anything out there. That's basically a garage. And I'd rather not stick anyone else out there. Actually, on most days, I'm out there. That's kind of I'm always wearing sweaters and all that because I'm always going in and out of that warehouse so employees don't have to deal with that crap. As an owner, it doesn't really bother me that much. I wear gloves when it gets cold. But that's really about it. I'm looking forward to finally cleaning out the remainder clients in the I can't really call it the book room anymore, but in the holding room for FBA, and we'll see what this year brings. My hope is about five things. One, the software stuff. Try to maximize all efficiencies as we possibly can with it. Two, I'd like to try and finalize the Gaylord experiment. I think if we slowly accept clients that way, we could possibly grow, and I think a service is needed that in that area. So that's two. At the end of the year, I'd like to finalize that. Three, just a personal goal of 250K or more. Uh, that goal is mainly because of healthcare. That's like in Ohio, that's like the minimum you need to that the state actually requires you to healthcare, and I think it's a nice goal. I wouldn't mind making having a company make 250K. I know all you crazy Amazon sellers are making a lot more than me, but I prefer the slow money. This is we're building infrastructure at Little Owl that should outlast a lot of businesses. Where was I? Four. Four is merchant fulfillment. I'm still really big. We've grown from last year to this year. We've grown a lot in merchant fulfillment, not as much as FBA, but I think I'm going to have a couple changes in the works to change it and to maybe rebrand it as something else to get more people there. Of course, I'll need to update the website, and that all comes with updates to technology. But it's something I'm still looking at. That's something I really want to get big into. And five, I don't really know. I don't really know. Fifth is probably the personal one. Probably getting more of my face out there, social media wise, and maybe branching out into other different businesses. Uh, excuse me. Personally speaking, this year will probably be the year I buy a house and maybe get into real estate. I've been wanting to do that for quite some time. It's not going to be attached to Little Olive or anything, but that's just a personal goal of mine. I wouldn't mind doing that, and I would actually I would kind of like to do it. Just for either passive income and all that. Of course, there's a lot of risk when it comes to do that, and you have to hold a lot of money back for the mortgage and repairs, future repairs of the house. But I'm slowly researching it, and I'll probably have that set by the end of the year, if not beginning of next. So I mean that's really about it. Definitely look for more content. I'm gonna try to get the car rambles on YouTube, and my hope is to bring more content to Little Owl page as well as if I decide to do anything more in YouTube. But you know, I think I'm gonna go home early at 7 p.m. That sounds like a great idea. I don't even know why I'm still here. I figured I haven't done this in a while. I wanted to give you guys an update of what I've been doing and what Little Owl is going to continue to do. That's it. Until next time, this is Frank with Little Owl. I hope your Q1 is good. I hope your Q2, 3, and 4 are even better. Take care, guys.